Welcome everyone to Interpersonal Communication. My name is Kristen Ruppert-Leach and I am going to hopefully give you a brief overview and orientation to the class so that you can be successful right from the beginning. So that's what this video is for. It's to guide you through the course, sort of explain what to expect and how to navigate the class as a whole. So let's start with this opening page here. Right up front, you're going to have two major pieces to take a look at. One is an announcement section. At minimum, I will be providing a weekly announcement that gives you sort of an overview of what is expected that week, maybe a quick discussion about the general topic that we are looking at, but there are basic announcements that will at minimum be available to you once a week. In addition to that, oftentimes various topics come up, or I find something interesting I think would be of value to you. That will come here as well. This is directly linked to your student email account, so I highly recommend, if you are not already actively engaged with that email account, that you find a way to coordinate with that and either get it to transfer to an existing email account that you do use, or set it up on your phone or what have you so that you can check it regularly. In addition, if you choose to use it, there is a due date section over here. I think it ties to all classes, although I'm not sure of that. But you can use it or not. It's completely your call. You can ignore it because most dates are projected within the unit folders, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. So that's your home page. Obviously, you have already gone to the Start Here page, which is where you will see this video. In addition to that, there is a section here that says Introductions and Questions. And this is where you will click, and at the very beginning, within the first unit at some point, I would love to hear a little bit about who you are, what career path you are seeking, something unique about yourself, what you like to do in your free time. This is an interpersonal class, so we do engage quite frequently in this class, and I am asking that we start off really well along those lines. So please jump in here. I'll introduce myself. I hope that you will do so as well and welcome each other to the course. In addition to that, if you have questions that you feel the entire class would benefit from, or things that you find out that are interesting, maybe you read an article or you saw something on television or in social media that you feel is of value to the content that we're discussing, you can put that in here as well. So please feel free to include what you feel is useful in this section here. So that's the Starting Here tab. I do want to jump down to Professor Information. This is a little bit about myself along with my contact details. So if you do have specific questions or concerns or issues, you can come here and get a hold of me however is most feasible for you. I do get this email on my phone and typically answer pretty quickly, so I would recommend going to that first more than anything. However, if you're on campus, you can come to the Liberal Arts Building and come see me in my office. I am the chair of Languages, Philosophy, and Communication Arts, and as well as a professor of Communication Arts. So if there are concerns or questions or anything that you are looking to get an additional answer to, you can always talk to me not only about communication arts courses, but philosophy courses and languages as well. Although I do not speak any other languages, so that I can't help you with, but I can direct you into what options there are in some of our foreign language classes. I also gave a little bit of detail about myself here. I have a bachelor's degree in mass communication, a master's degree in speech communication, and a doctorate in education, specifically online education and instructional design. So a lot of that is a focus of mine, and also in addition to the fact that I have a wonderful family, I am a Boston Terrier fanatic. And now that I even look at this, I only have pictures of my three, but I actually have 5 Boston Terriers. We are really small scale breeder, so we very much enjoy the little babies that come from our big babies. So just a little bit about me, and I'll post some more pictures and such in the questions section. But that's a little about me. It's the kind of thing I would love to hear about you as well. I also have office hours listed. They change every semester, so make sure to check this tab and see where I am on various days. And then down here, I have some strategies or tips and tools that hopefully will help you to be successful in an online course if you have not already taken a course that you feel has been valuable to you. So take a look at this and see what is useful. Their attendance, procrastination, due dates, that kind of thing. It's worth keeping in mind. Hopefully it'll help you to be successful if you take a look at it. And then other material that you may find of use at some point, whether it be in this class or another. There's a lot of options out there. So that's the professor information. Please feel free to call me Kristen or Professor K or Dr. K. Those are the easiest ways to communicate my name. Don't worry about trying to get into the whole Ruppert-Leach thing. It's a mouthful, it's a long last name, and most of the time people say it incorrectly, so I don't really think it's worth approaching. So call me Kristen, call me Dr. K or Professor K. Any of those are completely acceptable. All right, so let's take a look here at the syllabus. In this section, you will have both the syllabus and the course schedules. So if you are wanting to kind of keep track of what's going on at a certain time, I know when I was going through my doctorate, a lot of times I would print out the schedule and then I'd highlight when I completed certain things. It gave me a sense of accomplishment and also helped me to keep track of what was going on. So if that is something you would like to do, copy and paste this into a Word document or just print it straight off of the course. And that way you can kind of keep track of what's going on. The syllabus is the same, so if you want to open it up and sort of take a look at what is required and such, then you can print that off or just take a look at it digitally. This is all of the basic information that you need. Essentially, the course covers a variety of communication topics that influence or impact or alter our communication relationships. Now, when I say relationships, I don't just mean romantic relationships. I'm also referencing coworkers, professors, employers, friends, other family members, children, and the like. So our communication between ourselves and other folks. And that is essentially what the topics are going to surround, is there'll be components of that. As far as a prerequisite, you wouldn't have been able to get in here unless you were English 101 ready. We do have a couple of course objectives. They're extremely broad, though, and so you'll see kind of how they tie in each unit. In addition to that, our college-wide core competencies just basically say you will explore some of these topics. You will have experience in these areas in some way throughout the term. As for a textbook for this class, you are not required to get a traditional textbook. Instead, I ask that you get the book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck. You can do it in any way you feel is appropriate. I know some people go to the bookstore and get the book from there. Others go to Amazon or they go to their local library and get a copy of it. That may be a little difficult, but I know many of the libraries allow quite a few extensions, so if you feel that that's the easiest way to do it, by all means do so. I also know that this book is in audiobook format. I've listened to it twice in audiobook format, so if you want to do it that way, you can get, if you've never had an Audible account, you can get an Audible account and that can be a free book. Otherwise, it's only $14.95 for any book there online. So it might be worth checking out if you want the audio version of this book. And then you can listen to it in your car or as you're exercising or whatever it might be. As far as the assignments, there are 4 units in the course, and I'll show you kind of how those are set up. Essentially, the units include readings, videos, some note-taking and discussion boards, as well as some quizzes and reflection writings. And the first 3 units are identical in that way. The 4th unit is worth 400 points of 1,000 total, and that one is going to include a final project and a final reading. So I'll let you kind of look at the rest of this at your leisure. I am going to give you some additional material as to how the course content looks, but that might be a place to sort of start. Check out the syllabus, print it out if you wish, keep yourself on track. So here is where you will go to get to all of your work. So the course content section is going to have an individual folder for each unit. On the outside of the folder, it will tell you the dates of that unit, along with the topic that we are looking at for the unit, and then which, if just one or two or three or four of our objectives, which of our objectives are the focus for that particular unit. So for Unit 1, and like I said, 1 through 3 are very, very similar. You would click on it, and at the top you're going to see a task list. So here are the things that you need to complete in order to be successful during Unit 1. So you have from, in this case, going back, you have from October 14th to the 27th. Now, granted, it depends on what semester this class is in. I don't re-record the orientation every semester because it's not necessary, but please keep very much aware of these dates that are listed on your unit folder. So for this, you'll have those 2 weeks in order to complete the reading of Mindset chapters 1 through 3. Within that, you'll take some notes. You will also watch a series of videos. These are all videos that I have made that are really not super long videos. They're pretty quick. If you click on them, there's a playlist associated with many of them, and also thumbnail images of the videos so that it'll link you straight to YouTube where the videos are housed. So these are all of the videos for this particular unit. And then in various continuation of the units, you'll see additional videos in a folder just like this. In addition to that, you will have Unit 1 notes. Now these notes are pretty relaxed. I do want them to be in your own words. I ask that you don't just put an outline and that's it of everything you hear. I want for you to include in your notes about the communication process videos and the mindset readings. Give me the major points and the details for each of those points, but the most important is a personal reflection of how the information relates to you, not how it relates to the world or what I talked about specifically and how it relates to communication in general, but what did you think of when you were listening to that lecture or reading that chapter in the book? What made you think, oh, that applies to my experiences in this way or that way? So you're giving me your personal reflection on that information. And you'll just keep it all in one file. You can do this by typing them directly into a Word document, or you can handwrite those notes and take pictures or scan them and put them into a Word document and submit that to me. Either way is fine, whatever you're comfortable with. Although I do ask that if you handwrite things that you have pretty legible handwriting, because otherwise it's difficult for me to read the notes as we're going through. And that would be quite a challenge because I would have to have you resubmit them in a more legible way. So that's the notes. Each unit has the same requirements. So you will always have note-taking requirements for each unit. In order to get the full points, you need to complete the notes fully for every video and for the readings. So that's kind of what to expect for notes. In addition, you will participate in a unit discussion for each unit. In this case, you're going to watch a quick video, and then I'm going to ask you to have a conversation with the class. Now, I've learned throughout my career as an online instructor, the proper use of discussion boards is one in which you engage like you would in a sitting class, a face-to-face class. So I don't really want you to get all academic on me in these posts. I want you to have a conversation. I will be engaged in the post actively as much as I can. I ask that you post your initial comments right away as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, I would say this would be the first thing I would do if I were you, once you've watched all the videos and read the chapters. Or if there is some other part of it, like this one is referencing specifically mindset, you can look at a lot of different options. But I would ask that you participate in the discussion with your initial comments right away. And then go into the rest of the posts throughout the 2 weeks and have a conversation with your fellow classmates. I'm going to kind of try to explain these, the way I grade these a little bit more clearly as we go through the class, but essentially I am grading your engagement in the discussion, not necessarily whether you're right or wrong or whether your example is good enough. That is not the point of a discussion. The point of the discussion is to build off of each other and expand on ideas. So I may ask you a question. I may look at how you are responding to those that responded to you. I may look at if you're being critical in a good way or critical in a bad way. So I'm really just looking at the type of engagement, the type of interpersonal communication you are experiencing in this online class. So that's what the discussions are really about. And each unit has a required discussion, or each of the first 3. So really there's only 3 units of discussion, which makes things very simple. But just keep that in mind for the future. Then you will have a quiz. Each unit will require you to complete a quiz that includes only multiple choice and true/false. So you don't have to do this huge ordeal with essays and all of that. It's not really one of those types of quizzes. So those are going to be included in the first 3 units as well. And then Unit 1 reflection will be similar for Unit 2 and 3. You'll also have quick reflection questions that you will need to answer. Now, all of this, apart from, say, the participation in the discussion, all of the content that you are submitting is due at the end of the unit dates. So whatever the end date is on that unit, that's when everything is due. But again, let me remind you that when you participate in the discussion, I do want it to begin ASAP. And if I notice at the beginning of the unit that nobody is posting, nobody is putting their initial post, I'll send out a note saying, hey guys, where are you? I'm here and nobody's here to talk to me. So that's going to be what I'm hoping to look for, is some engagement right away in the discussion board. So that's kind of how a unit looks. They all look very similar. Each one has a similar layout. The only difference is the final unit. And the final unit is actually covering a major project. And within that unit, I am actively giving you choices of what kind of project you can complete. And there will be a quick explanation of each one, so you will be fully prepared to understand the differences between each of those project options, and hopefully you choose one that you feel you could be the most successful in. And so that's it. Essentially, you have about 1,000 points based out of the 4 units. The first 3 units are each worth 200 points apiece, and the final unit, essentially the project, is worth 400 points. So it is the primary focus, but it's the only thing you have to do during that unit. So Unit 4, you literally just complete that material, and that's it. You just pick your project and you complete that project. There's no additional instructional material. So hopefully this orientation gave you what you need and you can be successful. As always, if you have questions or comments or you need to talk to me, come shoot me an email, come see me, give me a phone call, whatever is easiest for you. Like I said, if you want a quick answer, this is probably the fastest way to get that, because I get access to that email everywhere, since as everybody else does, I have my phone with me at all times. So that's it for me, guys. Hopefully everything makes sense and I get to see you on the discussion board and enjoy the class we have together. Thanks again.